everybody buckle up because it is a multiple sclerosis update. That's right, we're talking about my MS today. And before people are gonna freak out and click off this video because they don't wanna hear bad shit, right? I just wanna let everybody know this video is all good shit, I promise you, right? And you're probably thinking to yourself, Dan, how is multiple sclerosis updates good? And it's great for a lot of reasons, and we'll get into those in a second. I just really need you guys to bear with me on this, right? Because a lot of the comments, we're starting this again already, really? Because I noticed a lot of comments on my initial I have multiple sclerosis video where I can't watch this. I saw so many comments that were like, this is too hard for me to watch. I can't watch this. I don't want to watch you go through this. And I want to let everybody know that's not what it was about from the beginning, and that's not what this is about. It's not about me. It's not poor Dan updates. I'm doing great, and we'll go into that in a second too. But the most important thing to me is I want to show people and help people with the disease, and also help people get through the stuff that they're going through, because whether or not it's multiple sclerosis or cancer or broken bones, I'm here, man. I'm here. We're going through a lot of the same shit together, and that's what I want to make these videos for. So it's not a poor me video. Things are going well, and I want to update you guys on this, and I also want to help people because this video is going to entail a lot of information pretty quickly. We'll try to keep it as short as we can, but this seemed like a great place to do the update. We're here working on the dually anyway, so why not update you guys on what's been going on with my little disease that I got going on, my little neuropathy issues. We'll go into that. First and foremost, let's talk about how I'm doing, because that's what a lot of people on my channel are concerned about. And you can skip around in this video. I'm doing relatively well. I haven't had a bad day in a while, which is great. If you guys have multiple sclerosis or know somebody with multiple sclerosis, you know that those days come and go. You just have bad days, sometimes bad weeks, depending on if you're having a flare-up and whatnot. I've been great. Since I uploaded the video, actually, I've been pretty much unfazed. I've had some tired days here and there, but I still managed to come to the shop. I still managed to do work, and I make YouTube videos and stream on Twitch. I mean, things are looking up, man. And I want to talk to you guys a lot about the medical side of stuff today. Most importantly, my treatment that I've just started for the multiple sclerosis. My doctor specifically recommended a brand called Gilenya, which I believe is the brand name. I believe the actual medication is called fingolimod. I could be pronouncing that incorrectly, but it's come very highly recommended from my neurologists, my doctors, and basically everyone. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do a big clarification here that this is not medical advice, and I'm not recommending what I'm going through as a treatment for you guys, because most importantly, liability, I don't wanna get sued. And second of all, I've got no experience other than my own right now under my own personal belt, and I'm pretty new to this. So I wanna make this very clear. I am not recommending this. I'm not suggesting that people go this route. Wash myself of all liability, because what works for me might not work for you. Also, the stuff that I'm taking has some pretty nasty side effects if we're just gonna read them out loud, which we will. So, the prescription that I'm taking, the medicine that I'm taking is, first of all, let's start with the price, which is probably the title of the video because of how absurd it is. But this bottle right here, which is, actually this is a visualizer bottle. This isn't the actual medical bottle because it doesn't have my information all over it, which is why I'm using this as a representative. But this bottle right here cost around $30,000, give or take. And you're thinking to yourself, damn, that must last you for the whole year, right? No, that's only 2.5 months worth. Roughly around $300 to $320 per pill, and I take one every day. And you're thinking to yourself, Dan, how can you afford that? And I can't. And I don't have to pay for it. That's what I wanna talk about. And I wanna make this extremely clear that this is not a sponsorship. I'm not being sponsored to promote this medicine. It wouldn't matter if I was Joe Schmo, Do It With Dan, Joe Rogan, whatever. The medicine still costs the same, but there are other ways to get it. Before we talk about how to get it for nothing or cheap or whatever, I wanna talk about how the experience with me has been going with the medicine. So I started the medicine roughly around 2 weeks ago, and things have been fine. It has made me feel a little tired for the first initial week that I took it, but I'm starting to get back over that. I'm starting to overcome the initial tiredness of taking the medicine, because it does lower your heart rate. It's got some side effects, but it's made by a company called Gilenya, which is partnered through another company called Novartis Pharmaceuticals. I'm fucking all these names up, but I will put links in the description for you guys to check it out if it's something you're interested in. If it's something that you think might help you or a loved one. It's pretty much, as far as I can tell, it's one of the top highly suggested medicines for multiple sclerosis and combating symptoms and flare-ups and stuff like that. And it's not even to like combat the symptoms per se. It's not gonna make my leg and arm feel better. It's going to prevent the further progression of the disease by suppressing your immune system. And this is where it gets kind of fucky, right? I'm not really stoked on the idea of taking this medicine because of a few things, but I think those are just mental barriers I'm gonna have to get over. So first and foremost, The medicine itself, under your first dosage, lowers your heart rate, which is why they send a doctor out to your house. I had a doctor come over to my house and watch me for about 6 hours. I did everything normally that I normally would. But a doctor and a nurse came over to my house and they checked my heart the whole time. EKGs to monitor my heart, make sure everything was cool. They checked my blood pressure regularly and my heart rate, just to observe me and make sure that I wasn't gonna have any negative reactions to the medicine, which thankfully I didn't. It did lower my heart rate a good bit for the day. I think normally my heart idles anywhere between 60 to 80 beats per minute. That's usually about where I'm averaging. With the Gilenya, for the first dose, my heart rate got into like mid 50s. It really couldn't tell that that's what was happening. I just felt a little tired. That initial fatigue of taking the medicine, it kept up with me for about a week, and I'm finally starting to recuperate my energy and starting to level back out, which they said will happen over the course of about the first month of taking it. So heart rate gets a little low, I get fatigued for about a month, I'm slowly building back up to my original levels, and hopefully I will eventually be surpassed my original levels because I won't have to worry about fatigue from attacks or inflammation. That's the goal anyway. And the way the medicine works, from what I understand, is it suppresses your immune system. I think very similar to the way chemotherapy does. I could be incorrect, but that's what a lot of people have compared it to me for, is that it suppresses your immune system, which is what your body uses to attack itself. Your body's immune system with multiple sclerosis attacks itself. So the idea is to suppress your immune system enough to the point where your body just doesn't attack it anymore. And from everything I've read and seen, the people who take Gilenya, it's about 50 to 70% less attacks over the course of like 3 or 4 years is the medium, and which I think is fantastic. Like that sounds awesome, right? Some people report 0 attacks over like several years, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking to maintain a long, healthy lifestyle. I don't want my body to kill itself, right? Like nobody wants that shit. So the good news is that it's supposed to suppress that. On the other hand, there are some nasty potential side effects. Part of being immune compromised makes me more susceptible to infections and getting sick, which is just part of it. So to counteract that, I've been taking a healthy dose of multivitamins, like a vitamin C, a vitamin D, plus a vitamin K, which is also supposed to help with natural immunities. But at the same time, I've read a lot of studies about vitamin K2 being used to help repair the myelin sheathing in your nerves. So I think using a good multivitamin like that, neurological support, anything that's good for neuropathy. I'm taking a multivitamin that's good for that. I'm also taking a vitamin C complex that's gonna help me get from getting sick. A milk thistle, which is good for the liver, another side effect of the medicine. Like abnormal liver tests, like the test might come back strange. To prevent any damage from my liver over the next couple of years, I'm probably gonna take milk thistle to help do that. And that's just my current complex of dietary supplements. They will probably change over the next couple of years, maybe in the next couple of months, we'll see. I'm sure I'll add stuff on top of that. As far as having any attacks or like weakness on one side of the body, I've been pretty straight since taking the medicine. And it's hard for me to say definitively just yet, which I kind of wasn't sure if I wanted to make this video, but how else are you supposed to monitor yourself over the next couple of years without keeping yourself updated, right? So a couple days before I took the medicine, I think I was kind of having a flare-up kind of deal. I was starting to experience a little bit of fatigue and weakness. And normally that would have really kicked my ass and brought me down. But over the course of the week of taking the medicine, I noticed that the side effects had lessened with the weakness. And that could possibly even explain the fatigue I was experiencing for the first couple of days of taking the medicine anyway. It's really hard to say. So I only have my own personal experiences to go off of that, which is another reason I'm not recommending it. Specifically, I don't know. But the research and the details that I've read about this medicine, it sounds pretty good. I'm just having a hard time coming to terms with it. That I have to take the medicine every day, A. B, that I have a disease. I'm still kind of in partial denial. Like I've had doctors, neurologists and whatnot tell me that it's multiple sclerosis, but every now and again, I'll wake up and be like, I don't got that shit, you know? Like, it's very strange, because like there's a lot of days where I don't feel bad. So I am still kind of coming to terms with the idea of being a patient. But as far as like the way I feel, the way I've been handling stuff, mentally and physically, I've been great. And I'm really emphasizing on the mental aspect of stuff because you guys know via my last video about this, that it brought me down mentally. It was depressing, it was scary, and it was debilitating. It was like being held captive at all times by yourself, and I just didn't know what was going on. But now that I have an understanding of what's going on and being free of like the worry of what's wrong with me, I've been living life mentally and physically way better. I cannot tell you how much of a difference just that little aspect has made of me. So that's when I say that this isn't a sad video. It's never been poor Dan. I'm doing fine. I appreciate your concern. Thank you for checking up on me. I know I kind of look like shit. I just got back from the gym, but I'm doing great. I really am. And another thing that is highly recommended for people like me, you have to stay physically active. When I don't work out or when I don't do anything physical for a couple of days, let's say that I have 2 chill days back to back, it almost ruins me. It's like I have to build that back up. So it seems like the longer I'm consistent with doing stuff, the better it is for me. So that's a big plus. If anybody's suffering from the same thing, I highly suggest you gotta go to the gym, you gotta stay active. It's going to help you improve it just a little bit every day. I feel wiped afterwards, like I did chest and I feel exhausted, but not debilitating. I can recover from this. And if I keep doing that, if I keep working myself out to exhaustion but not debilitation, I can continue to improve. And I know that for a fact. And another thing that I've been trying to do really hard, and it's the hardest part about this, I promise you, this is the hardest part about this disease and living with it and managing it, is the diet. I have to cut out a lot of sweets. Sugar is the king of inflammation, and it is highly recommended that anybody with an autoimmune disease, not even just multiple sclerosis, but an autoimmune disease in general, to back off sugar intake because it causes inflammation and it will actually make things worse. So that has been fucking hard. Coming off of sugar, it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing, but I'm doing it very slowly. It's crazy, right? Because you think, well, you know, Dan's not fat. You know, he doesn't look in shape, for instance, but he's not fat. How bad is his snacking habits? I would put you to shame. I promise you. Behind a cupboard, I'm a terrible person. I will ruin you. Much like sugar has done to my body. I have to cut it out. And I've been doing it slowly. I have some days where I slip up, but I do notice a difference in the way I feel. Without sugar, my joints just feel better. It's hard to explain. So exercising and cutting out sugars. And another thing that was heavily recommended to me, a carnivore diet. I haven't fully committed to that yet. I still am eating carbs and stuff like that. A lot of doctors and forums and people with multiple sclerosis recommend a carnivore-based diet, so lots of meats, lots of vegetables. Those are the only things that you're really supposed to eat, which it sounds great, right? You just cut out the sugars, all that other crap, you just eat meat and vegetables. That sounds fucking awesome. And that transition's hard because I like pasta, I like ice cream. I mean, I love meat. Fucking love meat, right? Who doesn't? But that's another thing that I have to change. So I'm gonna probably be transitioning over to like a more meat, more vegetable-based diet. And I'm also learning about heat. What does heat have to do with multiple sclerosis, Dan? Heat causes inflammation. They know for a fact that heat affects multiple sclerosis and it also affects your symptoms. So for instance, if I'm working out in here and I get overheated, part of my body gets really weak. I get tired. I don't necessarily feel bad, but I certainly know that something's wrong. Right? So heat is a big one. I started learning about that after I would get out of the shower and my symptoms would be exponentially worse. It would be hard for me to walk sometimes. I'd get like the shakes in my leg. It was very strange. It's so hard to like explain it. The good news is those symptoms aren't permanent if you get overheated. They go away once you've had a chance to cool down and your body's had a chance to return to its normal functioning. It's just that if you get overheated, you take too hot of a shower, you stay out in the sun too long, you turn into I look like someone who's just had a stroke sometimes. And that part can be scary. But now that I know what that is, you know, it's not something that's just, I can just live with it. I can manage it. I can take less hot showers. I can stay cooler in the summertime by sitting in front of a fan or drinking more water, which is also really important. If right now you're not really sure that you have multiple sclerosis or maybe you have a couple of the symptoms, take a really hot shower and see if that makes any of your symptoms worse. And which is actually how they used to diagnose multiple sclerosis way back in the day. They'd put you in a hot bathtub and kind of track you from there. And if your symptoms got worse, they're like, ah ha ha. So you gotta pay attention to heat, the way your body reacts to that kind of stuff, if you're worried about that kind of stuff. Or if you have multiple sclerosis, you gotta check that shit. And again, I will say this, that the most important part about combating something like this is finding it early like I did. Another reason I'm not poor me is that I found it early. You know, I was concerned enough about my own health and safety that I found it early enough to where I can beat this. I'm not saying I can cure it, but I can live with this, for sure. I got this under control. So I don't want you guys to think poor Do It With Dan. It's not about that. It's about helping me help other people. If it's too hard for you to watch or if it's not your cup of tea, man, I get it. But if you know somebody that's struggling, I would really appreciate it if you just directed them towards this video or maybe my multiple sclerosis video. It's really not about the views, it's about helping people, and the support has been overwhelming with that. A lot of you guys have picked up the multiple sclerosis keychains that I make and sell on my website. And again, the support has been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how many we've sold hundreds of them. Hundreds of those keychains. And if the keychains don't even matter. Like if you don't want to buy a keychain, please, you want to just make sure your money goes to the right place, click on my link in the description to the Multiple Sclerosis Society. The MS Society is the most effective way to see your money go to helping people with multiple sclerosis. It goes directly to funding and research. But if you want to help me out too, that's great. We got license plate frames, we have keychains. There's a lot of stuff that you can do to support me as a content creator and also support multiple sclerosis awareness in general through me if you'd like. But you don't have to. You can totally go over my head. Like, please feel free to do that. As a matter of fact, I would almost prefer it because then I don't have to make the keychains. Every time you order a keychain, they'll do what Dan's gotta go over there and cut it and then grind the fuck out of it and then powder coat it. No, for real though, I am super appreciative of it. Please, thank you guys. Thank you very much. To be honest with you guys have really given me the opportunity to deal with this disease okay. And like I said, I have a lot of resources that I'm sharing and helping with you guys. So let's transition to that. It's no more about me. We're transitioning into how you can get this $30,000 bottle right here for free like I have. It's not about being a YouTuber either. This isn't like a special privilege because of who I am or like where I live or my ethnicity or my height. I don't fall in any sort of weird categories like this. I've been introduced to a program called the Gilenya program. And again, I have to clarify that I'm not recommending this. This is not a medical recommendation from Do It With Dan. This is simply the channels that I've been given and I'm going through, and I'm giving you my experiences with them. And if you guys have experience with this particular drug, please feel free to let me know. Don't make it too scary though, I can't. So the program that I'm a part of is called the Gilenya program, and this will have all the links in the description for it. And basically, if you qualify, which it's pretty impossible not to qualify. There's two programs actually. One of them is the Gilenya program, which if you qualify, and you should, they will give you the medicine 100% for free. All you have to do is sign up and that's it. Like if you qualify based on a couple different things, it's really simple. They will send you that $30,000 bottle for free. They will come to your house for free and monitor you for free. It's a part of the program. They will send somebody out to your house for free, monitor you under your first dose. Once you qualify, you have to do some blood work naturally. A year's supply of this shit runs $120,000 fucking dollars. That's what my fucking car costs. Maybe if you're a millionaire and you have multiple sclerosis, you can buy it out of pocket, whatever. So the Gilenya program is how you get it for free, and I'm leaving links for that. And I think programs like this are super imperative for new medicines because otherwise we couldn't afford them. And that's the most important part, right? Is how do we afford these medicines? Just kind of have to, accept the fact that might be some bad stuff. And I don't even want to tell you about all the bad stuff that's possibly gonna happen with this medicine. I'll say the same thing that every doctor has told me. Just read the possible side effects of Advil and compare them to like any other medicine that you take on the daily. It's just as scary, if not more scary. I just have to be careful and get checked up regularly and make sure that the medicine's not doing anything negative to my body, but my worries are getting less and less every time I take it. So, and I think that's it. I mean, the information's really simple. You can either be a part of one or two programs and they'll give you the money or they'll give you the medicine. So don't do this based on my recommendation. Do your own research and look into it on yourself. But this is the channel that I'm deciding to go with right now at the moment. And if anything goes awry, if I start to feel really bad, or if I have to come off the medicine, you guys will be the first to know because what affects me essentially affects you guys. And I know that was a lot of information and I hope it wasn't too sad for you guys to watch. I hope you found the content relatively entertaining or informative, or maybe just like hearing me talk. I don't know. The point is there's only one person that's gonna advocate for your own health and safety, and that's fucking you. I can only do so much. I can only put so much stuff in front of you. I can only tell you so many times to go get checked up and go treat yourself right. That's all I can do. The rest is up to you, man, and you got this because it's just, it's just work. You're just doing work, man. It ain't hard. It's just work. Anytime that I was worried about doing something, my dad would always say, I don't know what you're afraid of, it's just work, This isn't sad, this is all good stuff. We're helping people. I hate to put the responsibility on you guys, but the more you share and like this video, the more people can see it and the more people can get helped. Help me, help them. Come on, baby, let's do this. It's also a little bit selfish because I like seeing those numbers go up, but come on, baby, we can help people. All right, that's enough about the disease. I want to keep these updates to a pretty minimum. I don't want to do a bunch of update videos unless they're necessary or I know they can help people, which is what this one's about, right? And I figured this was a good setting because I've been working on the dually a bunch and we're making great headway, as you guys know. The last video was about the center console, which is done, it's beautiful. And I'll take you off the camera, let's check this out. Take you off the tripod. This, which is probably gonna be my next video, is the headliner. I've got the headliner all in. All I gotta do is trim these little bits. The carpet is in, there's the rear center console, sitting on top of the power inverter, which you guys can see right there. Man, we're so close to wrapping this thing up. Once the interior's done, the truck is pretty much done. But yeah, that's coming up in my next video probably. We also have locked down a deal with AMP, Atlanta Motorsports Park, with the go-karts and the track. I'm now officially a member of them as well. And that's gonna be a really cool series of videos that are coming out soon whenever we record them. But like, I'm gonna be getting my own shifter cart and potentially starting racing shifter carts, which is something I'm really looking forward to. And I know you guys, according to the go-kart content, the response has been epic. But I wanna say thank you guys for checking up on me again and making sure I'm doing good. I'm doing great. And most importantly, remember, it's not about me. This isn't about me. This is about helping people. So that's what I'm gonna continue to try to do. After this, back to our regularly scheduled programming. And let's get back to work, buddy. Oh, shit. I fucking love this job.